If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Fredi's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FrediThePizzaMan.com. That's Fredi, thepizzaman.com, or email FrediThePizzaman@gmail.com.
This is Inside the Pizza Oven, the podcast that explores the best, most innovative, and relevant pizzerias and restaurateurs in America. Now here's your host, Fredi the Pizza Man, Fredi Bello.
Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back in episode 7 of Inside the Pizza Oven. I am your host, Fredi the Pizza Man. Before I tell you where you can find the show and today's guest, I want to give a quick shout out to the first 4 guests on the show: Anthony Cascarino, Jim Marabelli, Eric of Pizza Perfect Crust, and Tony Tomasi, Anthony Tomasi there in Florida, Nina's Cucina Mobile. Check them all out. Check out the past podcast. You can find it on iTunes or YouTube. Just subscribe and rate, please. Just search Fredi the Pizza Man, Fredi the Pizza Man. You can check out those podcasts. And again, thanks for tuning in. And also social media, just search the same, Fredi the Pizza Man, Fredi. You'll find on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You'll find the podcast there as well. And also interact with me. Anything you want to discuss about the show, any comments, anything you want to add, just shoot me an email, FrediThePizzaMan@gmail.com. So today's guest, we're gonna be talking to a little different. Usually we do a little rapid fire, and Pete Carbonaro, there in Best New York Pizza there in Tampa. He's got a couple spots there in Tampa, doing some great things there. We're gonna be talking to him in a few minutes. His passion for pizza and even comics. There was a brief time he took a brief leave from pizza and just dove into his passion for comics. We'll talk about that and his passion for Mike Tyson. So older guys like me, 49 years old, remember Mike Tyson back in the heyday. Maybe some younger guys listening in don't remember him. What a great boxer he was, how terrifying he was, how great he was. So looking forward to talking about that and just reliving those memories 30, 35 years ago. Believe it or not, I mean, his first fight was, I believe, 1985. Think about that, 34 years ago. Mike Tyson just came out of nowhere, and back then there was no social media. So if there was social media back then, could you just imagine? He was that great. I mean, he was knocking out guys within the first 10, 15 seconds. He'd walk into the ring. I mean, it was pretty much, the fight was won before it even started, before the bell even rang. So looking forward to talking about that. And again, please just, if you're interested, check out the past podcast, and thank you to the guys that tuned in. And on the other side, we're going to be joined by Pete Carbonaro. All right, welcome back into Inside the Pizza Oven with Fredi the Pizza Man. As I introed at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to be talking the guy. He's joining us now, and it all started for him in 1999. His passion for pizza, comics. We'll definitely get into the comics, and his passion for Mike Tyson. In Long Island, 1999. Pete Carbonaro, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Fredi?
Good, man. Nice to have you on, man.
It's a pleasure being here.
So, you got a great story, and definitely want to have the listeners hear all about it. First, you started with Long Island. Tell everybody about your where it started for you in Long Island, 1999.
Well, I was born and raised in Long Island. I was born in Bayshore and moved to East Islip in about '87. And right up the block from my house, probably about 10 houses down the block, was a little strip plaza with a deli and a pizzeria in it. And my first job, actually, when I was about 12 years old, was at the deli stocking soda. And I ventured my way down the plaza eventually within the year and made my way to the pizzeria in about 1993 when I was 13 years old. And like most guys in the pizzeria, I started as a dishwasher. and I was back in the dish pit. I was watching the pizza guys throw the pizza, so I would kind of imitate them with a wet rag. And they caught me doing that one day and said, "Hey, why don't you come over here and try to make some real pizza?"
Isn't that where all pizza guys start?
Pretty much it. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of guys start in the dish pit.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember washing dishes for my dad at 10, 11 years old, no doubt about that.
That's a good place to start, you know?
So that's where you got your passion for pizza, and a few years later you decided to head to Tampa Bay and open up a pizzeria with your family, Best New York Pizza. How did that all go about?
Well, yeah, I worked in Long Island for a couple of years. My family moved down to Florida in about 98. I stayed up there till 99, then eventually came down to be with the family. And I was down here working a couple of different pizzerias. I did a couple of chains. I was a manager of a Domino's for about a year. There was another chain called CC's down here. I was a manager for that for about a year. And then I got married in 2004. And after that, my family pretty much came to me and said, "Hey, let's open a pizzeria." They wanted to open a pizzeria. They didn't really have any idea how to run a pizzeria. My parents did video stores back in the 80s in Long Island. And then in the 90s, my dad kind of got into the internet game. So he was making some good money selling domain names. So when they came down here, they were kind of semi-retired, and they were just looking for something to do. And so we sat down, and we came up with Best New York Pizza. Reason for that is we were, all from New York, and there wasn't many good New York pizza places down here at the time.
That was a question I wanted to ask you. How's the pizza game in Tampa Bay then and now?
It's kind of the same now as it was then. It's just more populated, but almost everybody down here just does New York style pizza.
Okay.
And it is getting a little boring. So there are some new guys coming out doing Detroit style. I am seeing Roman style popping up. So I'm really liking the new styles that are finally reaching down here to the south, because forever it was just kind of the chain pizza, and then everybody and their uncle coming down doing a New York style pizzeria.
Well, you dabble in them. I know it's on social media. And by the way, you can find this guy on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Pasta Pete, the Pizza Professor. I got that right?
Yes, sir.
There on Facebook and Instagram. Check this guy out. You're doing a lot of different styles of pizza, I noticed, right?
Yeah, I try to dabble in everything. So we opened Best New York in 2005, and I ran that until about 2008. 2009. And, as it has it with Italian families, we, had a lot of disagreements and caused us to go our separate ways at the time. And I went into my second love, which was comic books, and I ran a comic book store for quite a few years. That being said, after that was all said and done, I wanted to spend some time with the family, so I stayed home as a stay-at-home dad for a couple of years. But now I'm getting back into the swing of things, so I, picked up my first love, pizza, and it's a whole different world now. Back when I was doing it, there was social media, but it wasn't as full as it is now. Now that I see the social media, I see all these other guys out there. I see people doing different things. There's stuff that's opened up my eyes that I didn't even know about, like the pizza competitions or the pizza expos.
Well, so
that stuff's really interesting to me.
So many of these old timers and pizza guys are figuring out how to use social media. They didn't know how to use it back then. It was all
that as well.
All ancient to them. Let me get back to the family dynamic, and I don't want to discuss the family. That's not what it's about. I worked in the family. For when I was a kid with my father and my brothers, and listen, you got to work with them all day and then see them at home. It's not an easy dynamic, is it?
No, not at all.
no, it's tough, man.
Well, especially everybody has their own ideas. Everybody has their own vision.
Yep.
So it does make it tough,
No, absolutely, it does. And now you bring up comics. I follow a guy on social media. I don't know if you follow him or not. He goes by, his name is Alex. I think he had a. Do you see his work he's doing with comics? I think he had an article on PMQ this month, the August edition. Alex, I have his name written here somewhere, and I can't. Alex Lupke. Does that ring a bell to you?
No, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, he's got an article. They wrote something. I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but he's doing something with comics and pizza as well too, intertwine the two. And
Interesting.
yeah, absolutely. I thought it'd be right up your alley. You got to check that out. It should be in this editions of the PMQ for sure. So check. Alex,
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
yeah,
Sure.
Alex Lupke. Shout out to him, by the way. So we follow each other on social media. I don't know him personally. I think he's from the Seattle, Washington area. I think. Don't quote me on that, but shout out to him. Comics.
Okay, very cool.
Where so you had your own comic store when you stopped making pizza? How'd
Yeah,
that go?
so I started it as just a comic book store, and then it like everything else I do, it evolved into much more. I turned it into we had a restoration company where we pressed comic books. We also had a signature company where we went to different conventions and obtained signatures for people. I did quite a few, over a dozen private Stan Lee signings, where I would actually bring a couple of hundred books to Stan's hotel room and just sit with him for an hour or two and have him sign hundreds of books. So that was a very cool experience.
Now, comics, for me, I've never gotten into comics, and I would imagine just like anything else in life, you have to really, really love it. The comic craze, are you surprised how big it is, how big it got?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of taken over now. Everybody knows, Captain America and Spider-Man and all those guys now. And years ago, it was more of like when I was a kid, I was what you call a closet nerd. You didn't really let your friends know you read comic books. You enjoy them, but you put them in the closet when you're done. And that was it. And now it's such a more open field. So,
what's the best comic book out there right now? Like worth the most money?
Oh, it's always has been and probably always will be the first Superman comic, Action Comics #1.
Do you own one of those?
No, never even held one.
Really? Oh, really? How
they
many?
Go for hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions.
How many do you think are out there in the world?
Well, that's the thing. That's why they're so expensive. Is there's only about a little over 100 copies, I think, in existence.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I wish I'd had my hands on one of those. That's for sure.
Right? Yeah.
Stop making pizza. We're gonna retire.
That's for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about more. Let's talk more about best New York pizza there in Tampa. You got a couple spots there. Carolwood is one of them in Wesley Chapel, correct?
Yep. The Carolwood store was the main one, and that's been there for about 15 years now. And Wesley Chapel was opened after I had first left, so I think it was opened in 2010.
So are they still family owned? So you patched up things?
Yeah, my parents own both of them. Actually, my sister and brother-in-law run the one in Wesley Chapel, and now that I'm back, I'm going to be taking over the one in Carolwood.
Okay, so things are kind of patched up, and they're kind of giving you your free reign to do what you want to do?
Yeah, a little by little. I'm learning. I'm a full force, go with everything 100% kind of guy when I do anything. So I'm kind of learning that I have to rear myself back a little with my family when I work with them and go slow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just come in and change everything. I have to little by little,
You have aspirations of getting your own one day and just branching out to a new name and all that?
Well, I'd like to see how it works with the family. They definitely have ideas and plans to build further and maybe a mini empire, if you will.
Yeah.
So if things work out with them, I don't see why not to stay there and grow. I could open another store, with them and with the Best New York name or another name. But as long as it's all in the same conglomerate. Or eventually I would do my own thing. But, like I said, I'd like to see how it works first.
How old are you, Pete? You seem like you sound like
I am 39.
Yeah, you're a young guy. What are some of the specialties since you work at the Carolwood store? Tell me some of the specials there, or some of the things that you specialize in. Pizza wise, do you have other things on the menu?
So when I got back into pizza just about a year ago, I started doing a lot of YouTubing, and I watched. I don't know if you're familiar with the Pizza Show with Frank Pinello.
Oh yeah, watch it all the time.
Yeah,
on TV though.
I watch that show probably 3 or 4 times. So,
Yeah.
and
He seems like a
and
great
watching
guy.
that show, I really fell in love. Oh yeah, watching that show, I really fell in love with Roman pizza, which I had never seen before. So it was something I wanted to really start investigating in and trying out on my own. So I did go to the Pizza Expo this year for my first time. Unfortunately, I only got to go for the last day, which was Thursday. But I did meet Tony Giovinaggiani, and I got to go to his restaurant, Pizza Rock. So I tried his Roman there. And then, just again, with Facebook and social media, I started following all these guys from Italy and seeing all this Roman pizza, and I was just got very, very interested in it. And then I saw a course that was offered here in Miami, the Roman Pizza Academy. And actually, Tony had sponsored it because his class was going. So I kind of jumped at that opportunity and went. It was a 2-day course. And I learned a lot. I loved it. And it kind of changed my whole mindset on pizza. I've been doing New York style for 20 years now. So it's like, hey, there's so much other stuff out there, and this tastes so much different. And so I'm getting really interested in that. So coming back to Best New York, I wanted to implement it there. I can't implement exactly what I learned there because of, limitations with certain equipment and just using what we have there is what I've been trying to do. So I kind of came up with my own Roman style crust using our New York style dough.
Okay.
And so we've been offering that. We actually just started this week offering that as a specialty. I'm putting 2 of those out for slice pies every night. And we're going to see where it goes from there, see what the customers think.
I'm thinking you and I should start a petition and have that pizza course in every high school as one of the electives. I think that would be pretty neat. To learn how to make pizza in high school.
I mean, if there was, I took home ec in high school, and we learned how to make pancakes and eggs.
Yeah.
But a pizza course would have been way better. Tell you what.
Absolutely. I mean, you jump on social media now, you see every other post is a pizza, isn't it? Pretty much, or pasta.
Oh yeah, My feed is filled with pizza and pasta. That's it.
So you're. I know you take pride in being a full-time dad. I know we talked this morning. You took a long drive to take your kids to school, and you work. How many hours you work in a week?
Well, right now I'm kind of. I don't want to say part-time because I am working a little over 40 hours a week, but I go in at 4 and work till close Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And then I'm there all day Saturday. This way I'm still home during the day for the week with the kids, and I still have a Sunday with the family. So
I would imagine I ask all guests that are on the show. I would imagine you eat a lot of pizza. I mean, I eat a lot of pizza myself. I don't eat as much as I used to, but I definitely eat a lot of pizza. When you're out with your family, you're somewhere, and you just want to go out to dinner, or you bring something home. What are you guys eating besides pizza? What's your go-to?
So after our third child was born, my wife developed a bunch of food allergies, and it's kind of crazy. It's stuff she's eaten her whole life, and it's very common stuff. Like she is allergic to wheat, dairy, eggs, just a lot of stuff. Soy. So it's been very hard since our son's been born for us to really go out and eat.
Yeah.
So when we do go out to eat, we really pretty much just pick anything that me and the kids are going to enjoy, and the wife usually has to kind of suffer or just get kind of like a plain potato or a plain salad or something. So we try not to really go out to eat too much. But I personally eat pizza probably 3 times a day, every day of the week except Sunday.
I've seen some of your pictures, man. You're in good shape. What are you doing, though? A couple squats while you're eating that pizza?
I do. I exercise daily, but I have a crazy metabolism. I have been the same weight since I was 15 years old. I've been 130 pounds my entire life. No, it doesn't matter what I do.
God bless you. I haven't been 130 pounds since 5th grade in high school, I believe.
I hear that
from elementary.
Every one of my friends.
Yeah. Joining me on the podcast, Pete Carbonaro of Best New York Pizza there in Tampa. There's a couple stores there, Carrollwood and Wesley Chapel. He's at the Carrollwood store. You have a kind of the end of podcast. And by the way, you can find this guy on Facebook and Instagram, Pasta Pete, the Pizza Professor. you got a passion for Mike Tyson. I brought it up at the beginning of the podcast before I had you on. I'm 49 years old, man. This guy, his first fight was around 1985, and I don't know if you remember those days. You might be a little young for that, but he.
I mean, I've watched them multiple times. I don't remember them from being live, but I do remember the year after he became champ. Mike Tyson Punch-Out coming out on Nintendo. I mean, that was a huge game. That was a big part of my life as a little kid.
Those fights.
But even as a little kid, I always watched the Tyson fights.
Those fights were won before he walked into the ring. I mean, if you look back, and I watched all of them live. He was born not too far from you. How far is Brooklyn from Long Island?
About an hour.
Yeah. Is that?
It depends on how you get in their train or car, but about an hour.
Yeah. What are some of your memories of Mike Tyson? Greatest memories.
So I remember I don't remember which fight it was, but I do remember going to a friend's house for one of his fights, and we went just next door to the corner store real quick to get some ice cream right before the fight. And it was one of those classic Tyson, knockout in 40 seconds, first round fight. We got back, the fight was over. We had to watch the highlights.
Yeah, that was pretty much
we were
him.
so upset.
His first year of professional boxing, he went 15-0. All of them were knockouts. 15-0, all of them knockouts.
And I think, what was it, 38 of them were in the first round, or 30-something first round?
Yeah, pretty much. The youngest heavyweight champion of all time, 20 years old,
Mm-hmm.
20 years old in 4 months. You think the heavyweight boxing will ever make a comeback? Will it take a guy like Mike Tyson? Think about it. Back then, there was no social media. I mean, now you have social media. It would almost be easier to create a guy like Mike Tyson. Obviously, you have to have the talent and go in there and knock guys out.
And I was going to say the opposite. I feel it would be harder now with social media, because you have a lot more guys coming out there trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Back then he was Mike Tyson. That was it.
Did you?
There was no imitating it. And,
did you happen to watch the fight when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of, I think.
I've watched the fight, the interviews after. And if you do watch the fight, it's like I don't want to say sympathize with the guy, but I can see where he was coming from. Evander does have he is much taller than Mike, and he was coming in low, and he did headbutt him quite a few times.
Yeah.
You could see the cut on top of Tyson's eye.
Yeah.
And he kept calling for, hey, he's headbutting me, and the ref didn't do anything, so he did what he felt he had to do at the time, which was bite the man's ear. Maybe not the best choice, but that was Mike for you.
Yeah, he. I mean, we can talk about a lot of things. His career just spiraled downhill, and there's too many things to even talk about. But I think that was probably kind of, right or wrong, it was kind of probably his beginning of his undoing there, when biting that ear. I mean, that just took the world over when that. I mean, that was. I mean, today.
Well, after Carbonaro died, he went kind of downhill fast with the whole situation with Don King. He was out of control. He was coming into fights, drugged out of his mind. And look at the Buster Douglas fight.
Yeah.
Buster Douglas shouldn't have won that fight.
Yeah.
That was.
Think about the news.
That was what it was.
Think about the story. Mike Tyson. I mean, think the stories. I mean, today's news cycle. Everything happens so fast, so quick that nothing is shocking anymore. Nothing is a wow factor any longer. But these stories,
right.
When he fought and when he did things like that, it was like the whole world, like the whole day stopped. You were watching that on TV. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and even after his boxing career, even getting his face tattooed, and the tigers that he had as pets, and crazy stuff. I still follow his career. Right now he owns a 400-acre marijuana ranch.
Yep.
In California.
Yep.
And he has the animated cartoon series, Mike Tyson Mysteries, which I actually have tattooed on the back of my leg.
All right.
That's how big of a Tyson fan I am.
I read a story. He raises racing pigeons. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's had a love for pigeons since he was a little kid.
It kind of brings me back to. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, what do they do? Just run in a straight line? I mean, you yell go, and they just race into a straight line. When is that how it works? Racing pigeons?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen that. I got to check it out on YouTube one day. Racing pigeons.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty crazy.
So you heading back into work today?
Yeah, after I get the kids, I'll head right into work. I usually pick them up, and I kind of drop them right off and head right into work. Kind of not ideal, but I get to spend a little bit of time with them in the car, see how their day was.
That's the best.
And my little guy, I get to pick him up at 12:30, so I get to spend about an extra hour with him.
Good. That's good to hear. Now, your comics, you still dabble with that a little bit, or just strictly pizza now?
Strictly pizza now. I don't really I don't dabble anything in comics. We watch the movies. The kids still love all the movies. My son's room, he has a life-size Spider-Man statue that we kept from the store in there. He has a lot of original comic art and stuff that I saved, some cool figures and stuff. But as far as the collecting mentality, I tried to get out of that. I mean, that was part of what started my store too, is I had such a big collection at the time, and it was before my kids were born. It was literally taking up both spare rooms we had that were going to eventually be kids' rooms. So I had to do something with the collection. So opening the store was kind of kismet at the time.
I want to end with this last question with the pizza business. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing? And I don't know, maybe when you go to work every day, what's your favorite thing to do, and what's your least favorite thing to do in the pizzeria business?
So normally I would say least favorite thing is washing dishes, but I'll tell you what, sometimes lately that's been kind of relaxing. Mm-hmm. On a night where we don't have a dishwasher, I'll get off the line and go in the back for an hour and catch up on dishes and just be by myself and my thoughts of my own. So that used to be my least favorite thing. It's not anymore.
Plug in your earbuds. We never had those back in the day when we were washing dishes. You can just
I don't do the earbuds.
Okay.
But most favorite thing is obviously experimenting. I love going in and just creating new things, trying out new stuff. A lot of times somebody will have a dinner that they brought in, and I say, hey, that looks pretty good. Mind if I put that on a pizza?
Yeah.
And I'll just make pizza out of whatever. And that's kind of how I came up with the Pasta Pete, the pizza professor name. Is I feel like I'm always experimenting and trying new things. I don't know if I have a least favorite. I guess my least favorite thing would be cleanup at the end of the night. That's probably everybody's least favorite thing.
30 years ago, I was at work making pizza, and one day I was starving for a pizza and I was starving for spaghetti, and I'm talking literally 30 years ago. And one day I said, I'm going to put them both together. I just dumped a plate of my spaghetti on top of a pizza, cooked them both together, and now you see it everywhere. On social media, you're seeing pasta pizza everywhere. And
I am all about carbs again, I'm 130 pounds. I'm all about carbs on carbs. I eat pasta pizza all the time.
Yeah. I can eat
ziti pizza, spaghetti. I'll take a whole lasagna and throw it on a pizza.
Yeah, people listen to the show. They've heard me say it once or twice. I could eat spaghetti all day long before pizza. That's for sure. Listen, brother, thank you for a few minutes. Check out this guy on Facebook and Instagram, Pasta Pete, the Pizza Professor. Interact with him and check out his store there. And Carrollwood, Best New York Pizza. Thanks, Pete.
Fredi, thank you very much. It was an honor being on.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Have a great day.
You too. Well, that was fun, man. Pizza seems like a real cool, laid-back guy. So, he's a pizza, comics, Mike Tyson. That's pretty neat. So, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you on the other side. And enjoy making your pizza. Bye-bye.